All right, with the Real Estate Investment Analysis Express Edition, which I was mentioning is probably the better buy for somebody that is not buying large commercial properties or larger apartment buildings, that sort of thing. It's very similar to the standard edition, but with the Express, you've got these three different tabs here: short-term analysis, quick long-term analysis, and detailed long-term analysis. And depending on which one you pick, you can see the tabs change based on that. So again, it's quite handy to have that. You fill in all the information very similar to the other one. This one does have the Canadian amortization. That might be because this is a newer version, a newer piece of software that they've created on Excel. They made a change to it. But anyways, I put my little logo in there, which is quite handy, our revenue logo. So you can put your own in there as an investor, especially if you're working with partners or investors. Nice to have that professionalism. So the short-term analysis, I'll just quickly look here. You've got your short-term rent roll. This was all pre-populated when I grabbed it, but you basically have to go in and put your information in month by month. You can put in your different units here, but you can see here September 09, October 09, November 09. You put all this information in. Obviously, if you just have a single-family home, it's pretty easy to put in. That's what I did. Down here, again, it just kind of summarizes it. This is all. You can't change any of this because it's a summary of the above. And then short-term operating data, very similar to the rent roll, which we were just in. Again, you've got to put this in on a monthly basis. One thing I did not like about this was the fact that I could not, basically if you put for lawn and snow $50, it won't pre-populate any of the other ones. And you can look at it either way. Some people say, well, yeah, you're only going to do your snow removal in the winter in Canada anyways, so why should it pre-populate throughout the year? But for me, things like insurance, I'm paying that monthly. Well, actually, I pay it annually, but if I'm going to put it on a monthly basis, I have to enter in every single one, which is a bit of a pain. So what I ended up doing is I just click and dragged that over. So I grabbed this and I went over across as far as I could go, and that changed. So you can see it changes now. So that's what I would recommend doing for ones like this. So you put all that information in. It sums it up all nicely here. Shows your NOI over the course of time. And then here you can do, again, just your cash flow statement. So you've got your gross income, less any vacancy. It shows you your NOI, your debt service, that's your financing or your mortgage costs monthly. Again, this is on a monthly basis. And here's your cash flow before taxes, so it's not including any personal taxes or capital gains taxes. And then it's got a handy, again, a nice little cumulative cash flow before tax. So it adds it up. So 518 plus 518 is 1,036, plus that is that, plus that. And it goes all the way across until basically you sell. And because we're selling it 2 years from now, you can see there's your cumulative cash flow, 12,731. So again, a nice quick summary. And here's your analysis of resale. So again, I suggested 383. I said 1% of the sale would be for legal fees and various other fees. Your mortgage, the mortgage was actually basically accurate on this one. Again, I think it's because of the Canadian check mark. So again, another reason to purchase this one over the larger one if you're a smaller investor. And then we can get into a few other things, including there's your cumulative distribution. So that's your 12,731. And then you can actually look at your cumulative return on investment before tax. So that's 41% on my money, basically, over the course of the 2 years, or on an annualized basis, it's about 20% per year. So a nice little handy summary. And then you've got actually your executive summary, which again is a nice, they've set this up very nicely for you to have, to print off, to have for yourself or an investor or even a lender, whatever you might need it for. It's done very, very well. And then again, it just sums things up very nicely. So you can look at that too. Gross income over 24 months. So it adds the 2 years together, less all the different factors that we put in there, including your resale and your financial measures down here. So really a great little product. I really like it. My only issue really with this one was it would be nice to pre-populate these things. especially on things like insurance or taxes, which are really going to be on an annualized basis. But because it's short term, maybe you only have it for 6 months, and maybe that's why they leave it that way. And I could get into the quick long-term analysis, but really it's pretty similar to the other things we've looked at. It just makes it a very, very quick and dirty way of looking at it without having to enter in all the information. And again, here's your detailed long-term analysis. So this is a little bit more if you want to get into loan amortization and all those sorts of things, which was one of my other little bit of a critique of this, is that I've entered all the information in on the short-term analysis. So you can see here, so I've put all this in here with the short-term rent roll, the operating expenses. So everything's in there as we just saw. But if you want to switch it over to, say, a detailed long-term analysis, it only pre-populates some of the information. So it only grabs, see this, none of this has changed. This all came with the download. So it's none of my information. I'm not quite sure why it doesn't try and pre-populate some of that. Maybe there's a button and I haven't found it. But again, something just to be aware of, that you want to, unless I'm missing it, but basically you want to know which analysis you want to do in advance before having to go and enter everything in a second or third time, which it looks like I have to do, unless I'm missing something. Anyhow, two great products. Definitely would go with the Express edition at this point, especially if you're a starting investor. But it certainly has good value for all the information there, and it's a nice, easy way to get into learning about all the different financial aspects of being a property investor.